This is the Bose QuietComfort Earbuds, and it's the cheapest noise-cancelling TWS device that the company makes right now. But what does that mean for the rest of us? Or do you even care, guys? Because the last I heard, Bose is still considered a boomer brand and has had a hard time shaking that label. But what I care about here is whether the QuietComfort earbuds are good enough that I'll recommend it to any like Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen A, and any subsequent alphabets watching this in the future. The Bose QuietComfort earbuds retail for $180 and it comes in 3 colorways. There is black, which is this one you see right here, chill lilac, as well as white smoke. And it runs on Bluetooth 5.3 with AAC and SBC support only. It has active noise cancellation and pass-through mode, and we'll chat more about that later on, as well as SQ. In the business end of things, there are 10mm dynamic drivers, and I've been able to eke out around 7.2 hours for battery life at 65% volume with AAC running during my time with it. The weight on each earbud is a little bit on the chunky side, 11 grams. IPX4 water dust resistance. It has wear detection, wireless charging, as well as multi-point Bluetooth connection, but there is no Google Fast Pair. In terms of touch controls, they're on the flat side right here, and they accept single, double, triple taps as well as hold. The case, how shall we say it, is a little bit on the thick, chunky side. It doesn't look super nice in your pant pocket. I mean, it is made decently, but the plastics, I'll tell you what, is kind of cheap, guys. Look at the flex on this. I'm not putting a lot of force to it, but look at that. It is flexing really easily, very hollow sounding, and it sounds like a cheap toy, like a rattle or something on the inside. So, you know, it is what it is here. Maybe they're building it, I'm quite sure they're building it to cost, but this is Bose. They should be, you know, watching out for these things and perceived quality and all that. But anyways, here is the flat bottom for the wireless charging and for you to also place on the table, USB-C charging at the back. The magnet is decently strong, and the grip is okay. It does resist fingerprints pretty well exteriorly, but scratches do appear pretty fast on this kind of surface. But on the inside, I purposefully didn't clean it so you could see how well this thing, or how easily the shiny plastics pick up grime and grease and such like that. The earbuds themselves, look at that, how much shiny stuff in there. At least it's shallow so you can clean it. The earbuds themselves are pretty nice. This one is a much better effort, I would say. There is shiny plastics as well. And you can see the support fin as well as the ear tips. Now, I would say the ear tips are the fastest ear tips in the West. I'll tell you what, it's oval. You can see it's a mesh protector right there. I just press it and it's done. Look at that. You can feel a soft click too. Let me try that again. It's done. Wow, that is fast. And as I mentioned before, the touch controls are right here, single, double, triple tap, hold, and we'll chat about mic quality as well. You can see the ports as well as the charging connector pins right there, 1, 2, 3 holes right there. And there is some output ports too. Really comfortable in the ear, I'll tell you what, this thing, even though it does protrude out pretty far. Now, since we're here, let's do the obligatory shit. Yeah, this thing is a fail. So anyways, it is what it is. Let's move on to the next segment. Tell me if I'm wrong. You can't fake or AI this kind of background. The falling leaves, the changing colors. Yeah, this is beautiful, except that I have to do a lot of raking later on. Piece of crap. But anyways, I have damage by her playing on my OnePlus Open, piping through the Bose QuietComforts. And there it is sitting right there. And we're taking the earbuds from the back of my house towards the side, and we'll see how, we're here actually to see how strong the signals last. Week to week, we always do the same thing. Where I'm standing is around 25 feet away from the device, and I'm going to take now past line of sight, and let's see when the signals start cutting out. So far so good. It's past the, well, okay, right on spec. Right here is usually where we get some signal loss, so it just did it exactly as planned. But now it's practically like not playing very well. Practically nothing is playing. Check out the colors, guys. Oh goodness, love this. But anyways, we're done with that one. You can see the fit of these on my ears. They kind of protrude out a little bit, probably about 2.5-3 millimeters outside of my earlobe, ear canal. So, you know, some of you may or may not like it. It's not too bad. And I have a, you know, I was telling you a few weeks ago that I have a, you know, back injury. It's flared up again, so I'm not gonna run too much. Ow, 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 that's hurting. But anyways, these are stable. When I've been using these for the past few weeks, fantastic guys. These things, once you dial in the proper fins and the ear tips, fantastic. Anyways, let's take these down to the roadside and test out how the mics do. A slow jog down to a roadside right now should tell you, based on this sound sample, that these are not made for cycling, running, or anything like that, or even stationary. Look at that. Check it out. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Here comes more cars from up the street. I'm out of breath. I've done this many takes, guys, and I have a cold too. Yeah, the sound processing is probably one of the worst I've heard, especially for Bose, guys. This really kind of disappointing. Here comes the truck. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. 1, 2, 3. When you get phone calls, pass-through mode does turn on. For what it's worth, I wish there was a way to turn it off or switch to active noise cancellation or whatever, that kind of option. But anyways, yeah, not too hot on this one, Bose. I'm not sure which came first, but Bose's QCE app looks almost like a black and white copy of Skullcandy's companion app. But regardless, my point is that both have their primary features and functions front and center, easily accessible on the screen with practically no scrolling required, and that's awesome. The monochrome icons here are clear and large, so even, boomers can use them. And some of my favorite features are battery predictions, side tone for phone calls, and remote selfie that actually works better than expected. The EQ has 5 presets as well as a 5-band parametric. Touch control customization is also quite rich. Pretty much all functions can be mapped to the buttons. Unfortunately, while voice control is useful in theory, it activates only when the app is launched and subsequently will time out when you're using another app. At the top of my list is active noise cancellation. Like nothing within $50 to $80 north or south of the QCE earbuds come close to this kind of isolation. And I'll give ANC capabilities an A- here for the system's ability to effectively nullify things like engine rumbles, AC units, and also quite a bit of human chatter. Now, for better or for worse, sounds of crying children, for some reason, do penetrate your little bubble of peace, And a word about pass-through. This is one of the more natural ones I've heard so far, almost Apple-like in terms of quality. When you turn it on, you can hear everything, but nothing sounds super digital. Overall, listening to tunes on the QCs bring a sense of warmth and coziness, which most people are gonna like. These are slightly V-shaped with some excess bass, some excess low mids, and also a bit hollowed out in the mid-range, which, I would say at least stays loyal to the general Bose signature sound. So yeah, in this case, Bose knew exactly what most non-audiophiles and Bosers want and gave it to them totally. Anyways, tracks that are able to take advantage of this kind of tuning, like High Lonesome by Adam Torres or About to Find Out by Margot Price, they sound super solid on this. And this brings back memories, guys. A band that I recently brought back into my listening rotation, Soul Coughing. Man, I have to say, the QuietComfort plays really well with the bassy dynamics of Super Bon Bon and Soundtrack to Mary. Now, on the flip side, to make up for the recessed mid-range, like when it comes to female vocals and violins, I had to play with the mids and high mids as well as the highs in the EQ to get it to just the way I want it. In terms of comfort and fit, once you have these dialed in, they stay put for the most part in most situations, except, when you're pushing yourself, doing strenuous stuff like lifting heavy items, or are in the gym trying to beat your PR at weights, or making the biggest poop of your life. Now, I also want to know what magic dust Bose uses for their touch controls, because these things, guys, are responsive and every tap is acknowledged by a tone, which is really helpful. Although I still don't like the whole jamming something deeper into your ear canal feeling, which in this case is made all the more unpleasant by the hollow plastics. They transmit each like finger tap with a sound that I'll liken to someone tapping their finger on the mic. Boop, 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 boop. And yeah, it hurts. And as you know, this is, my livelihood, so dude. Under its new CEO, Bose has been trying to reinvent itself from being a boomer brand to something more contemporary. So based on that fact alone, on outward appearances, I think Bose still has some homework to do in terms of design and materials. Like with the QCE earbuds, the design is utilitarian to say the least. Plastics feel too plastic, if you know what I mean. and perceived build quality that's a step and a half behind the Chinese competition. I've experienced connection issues that range from minor to annoying. Sometimes either or both of the buds would crackle for a second or two while I'm listening to tunes just randomly. Sometimes when removing the buds from the case, one of them won't turn on or connect to my paired device. Now, what puts this issue in the negatives is that this happens 3 out of 10 times I use the earphones, which for a big kahuna brand like Bose is quite inexcusable. I'll say this, Bose is definitely moving in the right direction with its new set of products, from its headphones to the earbuds, the sound bars. The review of this is coming soon. And with the QCE earbuds, you're looking at something that's priced low enough that I had to do a double take just to be sure. Active noise cancellation is a highlight, probably the best in the price range right now. SQ is calming and easygoing, if that's your kind of thing, and it kind of reminds me of Sonos now that I think of it. But I'll tell you this, Bose definitely needs to get rid of those cheap plastics and bulky, boring designs if it wants to have a better chance against the competition. And oh, speaking of, it's almost no coincidence that the QuietComfort went on sale just 2 days prior to the AirPods 4 with ANC, plus even matching it on price. Yeah, and if you ask me, I would say stick with Apple for those added features unique to the ecosystem, assuming you have an Apple device. Bose has the advantage of a physical seal with ear tips, while Apple relies heavily on processing to fight against sound, as the AirPods sit directly on your concha, not within your ear canal. And same thing with ANC. Bose wins it not just with a more mature system, but also with passive isolation. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for watching this. The fact that you're watching this right now instead of spending time with your children or your spouse or your chores or your homework means a lot to me. So 1,000,000 like points to you. Thanks to Bose for sending this to me as well. And if you haven't noticed, I've gone to 25,000 subscribers thanks to you guys, and I'd like to get to 50 with your help. Like this video, subscribe, reshare this with your friends, and get the word out there. And remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what, guys? If you haven't seen the news, the world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you very much. Peace out and God bless. Whoosh.